Hello, this is Group 5 presenting, and I'm going to educate you about diplomacy. Diplomacy can be defined as the profession, activity, or the skill of managing international relations by representatives, or typically by a country's representatives abroad. Or it can be defined as the conduct of international dialogue, of international relations by negotiation and dialogue, or by any other means to basically promote peaceful relations among states or countries. So there are basically three types of dialogue, of diplomacy. We can talk about public, economic, and cultural diplomacy. As for example, we have Mrs. Natalie Brown, the U.S. diplomat in Uganda, and so for Uganda's case, we have Mr. Johnson Agara, the Ugandan diplomat in Russia, among others. So let my colleague to take you through the ways through which we can act diplomatically.
There are a variety of ways in which one can act as a diplomat. One should be able to know ways in which she can come out of difficult situations. What do I mean? There is a time where you find you're handling a meeting as a diplomat between two hostile countries, but then you find that the discussion has turned into an argument. So it is all about you as a diplomat to find ways in which you can turn it into a peaceful discussion. Then also one should be able to synchronize the priorities of different countries. When you are a professional diplomat, you should not only mind about one side. You have to consider both sides. What do they want? Then in that way you can be able to resolve their conflicts. Then one should also be able to work so hard not to disappoint the country he has left behind. If you have gone to a country to settle disputes between them, do not be corrupted, do not be money-minded. You have to mind about your government that you have come from and act diplomatically and solve people's conflicts rather than solving basing on only one side. That's all.
The importance of diplomacy. The importance of diplomacy in our day-to-day living is enormous in a way that as social human beings, it is realized through the functions diplomacy plays in the setting, in our communities, in the countries, and in the schools, and in every place that where we stay in. I'm going to list them, there are four, and I'll explain them later. The first one is representation. Second is protection. The third is negotiation. The fourth is about ascertaining conditions, and the fifth is promoting friendly relations between communities, schools, and countries. I'll start with representation. Representation as a core function of diplomacy in our daily living is important because as people, we represent families, we represent communities, we represent countries. Whatever we do should always give good picture and give good image of whom we are and the people we present and the countries that we present. Secondly, I'm going to talk about protection of interests and images. Dealing diplomatically helps us to protect our personal interests and the interests of our families and our communities and our country. When we live, we need to know that we live not as rangers, but as people who need each other. But rather we should live with the community, hence promoting our relationship and our good image with other people. I'm going to talk about also negotiation. Life is a journey full of negotiations, as you always know. Whatever we are presented with challenges in life, we of course always need negotiations. We can't handle the issues we have and the challenges we have in life saying that we are always different. No, we always need each other, so we need to be supported in the way we negotiate. On the fourth, I'm going to talk about gathering information as an importance of diplomacy. Acting diplomatically will make people to be free with you, thereby being of a good and a necessary help for you. Of course, we know if you help people, you'll always get the information you want. And being a diplomat, you are supposed to negotiate between people and learn to get information from people such that you will be helped. I think that's where I'm going to stop.
To sum it up, no man is an island. And per Professor Samuel Bitti's famous saying, I am because you are, and since you are, therefore I am. This gives an expression of cooperation. We all, since we live in a community, we all need to cooperate. And this kind of cooperation opens ways for other people and brings opportunities next to our doors. Thank you.